Good morning, everyone. Today's a
Good
very
morning.
special day. I'm here with a very special guest, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of him. My name is Hanna Olivas from She Rises, and I am joined today with Dr. Cesar Quintana. And just to give you a little bit of background on him, he was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. He is a former soccer player, boxer, doctor. Well, he's a doctor now. Uh, he is an active advocate for the local Las Vegas community. And he has done so many different incredible things. And we're going to talk today about him, about what the word Vida means, because the name of his business is Vida Chiropractic. So, welcome. I'm super excited to talk with you today. We have a lot to go over. And for those who are going to watch the replay, please, I encourage you to go to his website. It will be put in the show notes. You're going to see him on a weekly basis giving health and wellness tips. You'll see him across Phoenix TV and everywhere else. So, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for the invitation, and I'm just very excited about this opportunity to talk about my life and how I was born in Tucson but raised in Las Vegas. Just to let everybody know, and I'm very good. So thank you once again for the invitation.
So, I know you both personally and professionally, and I know that you have a love for your community. You are always focused on health and wellness. You're advocating, you're doing all these different things all the time. I call it a heart of servitude. But before you even started that, let's talk about what were you like as a young boy? How did you know you were going to be a doctor?
Well, I remember when we came to Vegas, I was about 4 or 5 years old, and we moved to basically Lake Meeting Civic Center here in North Las Vegas. And I remember my mom and my dad. We actually lived in these apartments, and we managed these apartments. We had four buildings, and when it comes to serving the community, I saw my mom and my dad, help others by allowing them to stay in these apartments. My mom was always bringing food. She would go out to the community, bringing clothes for people, and I saw this. And so they also provided a good work ethic for me because me and my older brother Luis uh, were not only just being kids and jumping around, jumping off the houses and just climbing trees, skateboarding, playing soccer, boxing. We were helping our parents maintain the apartment complex. So my work ethic started there, and eventually just I started visualizing myself like helping people, at a very young age, and including in school. I started seeing these kids who needed our help. Me and my brother were very talented in sports, so kids would come up to us and ask for our help for situations, with the bullies, or helping them play a sport, teaching them how to interact, playing soccer. But mostly it comes from my parents. When it comes to helping people, and when I realized I wanted to be a doctor, my parents took me to chiropractor at a very young age. And I also was in a car accident and started to go to chiropractor more often as well. And I realized how it benefited my body. I recognized right away, like, wow, I feel really good. I feel like that injury I just had, I'm back playing soccer again, jumping off the trees. And I noticed that being aligned at a very young age was very important for us, and understanding, the true understanding of what wellness is. Before even the word wellness actually came about. Understanding it's mind, body, and spirit. It's helping your community. Increasing the value of human value in your community. Is something that I've always looked at.
Let's take a little bit of a deeper dive. Why is it so important in terms of where you are locally in your community? Why did you choose to open up your business where you are today?
That's another beautiful story, and I have to thank my mom, because right here in the parking lot we have a Starbucks, we have a Burger King, we have a Cardenas, a Mexican market, and when the Burger King that used to be a Sizzler, and I used to go to Rancho High School when my parents used to take us there. We were super excited every time we went to Sizzler because they had a buffet. Now I was 15, my brother was 16, and one day my mom says, "Hey, let's go to Sizzler. And we're like, all right, let's go. We're like lean, ready to go. And after we ate, my mom says, vengan conmigo, like, come with me. She had a plan. And we didn't realize. I looked at my brother and I was like, Louis, did you do something? Because we just ate, bro. We're ready to go. So she took us to the front part of the restaurant at Sizzler where you order the food. And she asked for the manager. And the manager, Doug, came out and he says, how can I help you? My mom said, you see these two boys? They're ready to work. We started working in this parking lot here at Burger King where Sizzler used to be as dishwashers. Me and my older brother, Louis, making $4 an hour. And so we had good work ethic. So we worked there, and that's how it all started. And at that point, I already wanted to be a chiropractor, a doctor of chiropractic. So I didn't realize that, later on I was going to be in the same, shopping center that my mom basically, took us to, and that's where I started working. So I have an affinity for this community because I used to skateboard around this area. Me and my brother, we worked in casinos. After this I worked in 5 casinos in Las Vegas, and food and beverage. So hospitality was a part of our culture, you could say. But I see these children when they come in and I see their eyes and I say, you know what? You can do it too. If I did it, you can do it. So I definitely, my heart is here because I just see there's so much opportunity in Las Vegas. And I want to be able to provide that, for others and basically, have a pathway for them.
You specifically have made your focus towards the Latina community, though. And there's a reason for that. Are you willing to share some of why that has been your focal point?
Absolutely, because I had the opportunity to practice in other cities. When I graduated for chiropractic school, I went to Phoenix, practiced in Phoenix, and I was, involved with the Latino community there. And I got an opportunity to do some great things there too. And also practiced in South Florida with the Latino community as well. So I practice in those states, and I always look towards how can I help our community to enrich the community, to also help them understand that, mind, body, and spirit, when it comes to your health as a doctor of chiropractic, we're looking at, okay, we have, who knows, hundreds of years of labor in this country, right? So I saw my parents work very hard, and I just wanted to contribute to, the labor aspect of giving yourself to, building, and how important it is to Las Vegas that our Latino community has helped build this city. I saw my dad do construction, landscaping, mom cleaning houses. So at a very young age, I wanted help to help them sustain, their health throughout the process. So when they retire, they didn't have all these ails and ailments of, not being able to walk or issues with their spine or issues with any other health issues other than just chiropractic.
So what do you see, since you're so deeply entwined in the Latin community, what are you noticing as these men and women are coming into your office? Besides the fact that they're there to, seek the health and wellness, what are some of the things that some of these members in your community are sharing with you?
Well, I think there's a lot of positive, because you hear a lot of family-oriented things, where the mom is, taking care of the family at home, and the father goes out and works. And one of the things, as far as, the Hispanic male here in Las Vegas, Nevada, I've noticed that they don't see the doctor as often as they should. And usually it's the wife that calls and says, okay, I'd like to schedule an appointment for my husband. The problem is that because we have so much construction, so much labor here, a lot of these men, they go out and provide for their families. They work till sundown. And it's very difficult for them to be, to go to the doctor, but also culturally as well. They're about strength, being strong, and making sure they provide for their family. So that's one aspect of it. But the Latina, as far as or taking care of the family, I know that if the mom is healthy in the family is healthy. So I focus on the mothers, the grandmothers, also because I know if I help them, just like my mom helped us, that I know they're going to at least take that information to the family and keep the family healthy.
Agreed. It's almost sometimes as the woman is the glue, sometimes, not all the time, but When you're meeting with these men and women and even the kids, because I know that you work with children as well, what is something that you would like to see our local Las Vegas community and really across the country? How can we better serve um, our communities? What are some things that we can do to really implement better health and wellness so that more and more people will go to the doctor, they will get screened, they will understand the importance of it? How can we help do that?
Well, first understanding, the body, right? Understanding how your body works in regards to, the nervous system, also to all the other physiological, processes in your body. Taking care of your preventative care is very important. Obviously, I believe in motion. I'm always stretching. I'm always doing things to maintain my alignment, which is important. As far as the chiropractor goes, we focus on making sure there's proper alignment, but also making sure there's proper nerve flow going to every cell, tissue, organ in your body. Now, if you do have insurance, a lot of people, they go to their doctor to get their general checkup, they get their blood work done. They're focusing on prevention. That's the key thing to understanding. A lot of times within the Latino community, we don't go to the doctor until it's too late or until we're in a lot of pain. So educating the public of like maintenance, just like your car. We take care of our cars, but sometimes we forget to take care of our bodies. And so when you go to your general checkups, getting your general blood work, getting properly aligned, making sure that you have less inflammation in your body, understanding how gut health works as well, that's important. Understanding that inflammation is what's causing a lot of dysfunction in the body, and taking care of your body on the daily, basically. On everything. When you go home at night, you should be landing the plane. You should be walking to your house and leave everything out there, and that's your palace. You should be having certain things that you do on a daily in regards to icing. You could ice pack your body. You could stretch. You could use an exercise ball. You could do yoga. But a lot of times, you can do it right before you go to bed. So I think it's important to think about the preventative part and teaching people to understand and just using analogies and getting involved in their life. Getting really involved in a person's life. It's called health care. You got to care. If you're going to be a doctor, if you're thinking about going to school to become a doctor, please, the care part is a huge aspect of taking care of your community. And when they see that and they feel that, your community will be healthy.
Now, why did you decide to name your business Vida? Talk to me about that. Where did that come from?
Well, Vida means life. We like to enhance your life. When we're thinking about, when you're coming to the office, it's not just the alignment. It's really kind of just being a part of that person's life. And so when they leave the doors, they can go out there and enhance other people's lives, through health, through, living without pain and discomfort. Vida is it's just life, for when you say vida in Spanish, like you feel good, you know. And life to me is important to, understand, because some people they'll say, "What's vida?" Well, it's vida, it's life. And for the Latino community, it's very important to have life in your household. You want to come home to a nice, healthy, uh, beautiful home where you could just, regenerate your life every day on the day.
I know, I've been in your office, and one of the things that we will share over the coming weeks is we are going to take a deep dive. We are going to visit you. We are going to do an episode from there so that people can see you're talking about our homes being a palace, that piece of tranquility. But that's also a space that you've created there where you are. So I've been a patient and I have walked in, and it's an incredible feeling when you walk in the door and you know that you're walking into a form of healing, even though sometimes the healing takes time, but it's the atmosphere from the girls at the front desk with their beautiful smiles to the office manager. And then, they take us in, they walk us through. It's a very detailed process, and you can tell that there is care, concern, that you're actually a doctor who listens to the patient.
Mhm.
And so you've created that type of atmosphere for your patients as well. So moving forward, what are some things that we get to look towards next that you are working on in the community with your practice? I mean, you have some incredible projects coming up. Do you want to share some of those?
Yes, probably the biggest project, the dream that I've been dreaming for some time now, is a community health center. Providing high quality care for underinsured, underserved individuals. Because I am a true believer. I have seen nice, fancy, beautiful spas, and it's difficult for someone to pay $300 for a massage, right? So I want to bring that aspect, and I'm going to bring that aspect to our community, so everybody has high quality healthcare across the board. So the community health center is going to have chiropractic. There will be medical doctors, pediatrics. There will be nutrition, yoga, and also some people don't know is the arts. I love art. So if you come into my office, you're going to see art, and I also love plants. So you're going to also see plants. So I like to incorporate that into it, because I believe that when I was young, I had art class. And I remember I would draw, and it made me feel special. So that's one big dream, my community health center, that I'm going to basically advocate for and bring it to this area. You could say I want to centralize it so it has access to everybody in Las Vegas, and maybe even having a small little cafe in there would be great too, where people can sit down and relax after an adjustment. The other is I do plan to open another location. That's my goal, and put it at different areas of Las Vegas, so we can provide high quality chiropractic care, including I'm working with other individuals about helping these individuals with education towards medical assistant, phlebotomy courses as well. That's something I'm teaming up with these individuals, but also just being every day. I don't just think about your local politician, your local leader. I think about the leaders that are at home. I think about the women, the husbands, the coaches, the kids who are at school and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. I focus on those people every day, and just making sure that they're properly aligned. They're properly, they understand that there is people out there who do care, so their visions are taken care of. And I'm, for myself as a business person as well, another goal is to be able to provide an opportunity, economic opportunity, for small business entrepreneurs who want to start up a business, and help them, guide them through that process as well.
So is there anything that we can do here locally to support these goals and projects that you're working on? How can people get involved?
Well, as you know, I'm a doer. So just like yourself, I'm always looking for those individuals who just they would do anything and everything every day to not only help their dream become a reality, but help others. Mm-hmm. So I'm always looking for young individuals or older individuals who just they love what they do, and they do what they love. So by helping me find those people, those are the people that will move the masses, that will provide honest, authentic assistance to other individuals without anything in return, you could say. So I'm always looking for that. But by just putting out the name, Vida Chiropractic, I've been here for almost 7 years now here, and I still feel the same. Every day I wake up, I'm like, there's something I gotta do. There's something more. And and meeting you too, Hanna, it's amazing, because that's how I think you are. You're always thinking of something, and I think helping me just guide through that process of exposing and talking about it, and showing basically what I do. I think it would be important for the community, because there's a lot of kids out there who love sciences that maybe they don't get the straight A's right now, but maybe they have to come home from school and take care of the little brother and sister, feed them, but they don't have time to study. Just reaching out to those kids and utilizing me as a doctor of chiropractic, and speaking a bilingual doctor speaking Spanish as well.
So if there was one tip that you could give to our viewers today in terms of their health and wellness, what would be the first thing that you would tell them?
First thing is look in the mirror. Look at who you are. You got to be comfortable in your skin. We're not like everybody else. And I think once you look in the mirror and you smile at yourself and you say, you know what, I can do this. And you got, it takes discipline. In order to succeed, you have to have discipline. You got to get up in the morning. You got to go exercise. And sometimes, some people work in office settings. There's stuff you can do in the office setting too. But stretching, taking care of your mind, your body. There's the physical, there's the chemical, the emotional, and the spiritual. I think if you look at one of those four things and you start there and you say, and you measure yourself every day on the daily, basically, hey, where am I at right now? Be able to ask the right questions. Just ask the right questions and be patient. Everything's a process.
So self-evaluation, self-inventory, really kind of understanding where you are in your health journey. Yes. In other words, don't be one of those that sweeps everything under the rug and waits till it's too late. Like you said it earlier, health care. We have to care about our health. Yes. And I think that's a big message that a lot of us forget. I think if we did care more for our health, we would avoid a lot more chronic illness. Stress is a big factor. We're still in this pandemic. There's all these different things that affect us. And so we really do need to make our health a priority. So let's shift gears for a second. So we're in the middle of Hispanic Heritage Month. And I just wanted to ask you, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think, when you're growing up and you're in class, and I like poetry, I like literature, I love, understanding our history. And, growing up, I would look at our history in the United States, and I would open up the U.S. history, and I would read something about Pancho Villa or something, right? That he was a bandit, And as I got into, more understanding of, how valuable, Latin America has been to North America and Central America, South America. So when I say I'm a citizen of the United States, but I'm a citizen of the United States of North America, and Hispanic heritage, just seeing how the beautiful, there's so many cultures in Mexico, that provide color and food and different dialects. And a lot of people don't look into that. Like Las Vegas, for example, when we live in Las Vegas, the largest population of like Hispanic Mexicanos, Latinos here, they're from Jalisco, Michoacan, and Durango. My family's from Sonora. We're Northerners, right? So Northerners, you would find them more like in Phoenix, you could say, in Sonora. If you go to Chicago, you're going to find people from Durango. If you go to Denver, you're going to find people from Chihuahua. And each area has its own food, its own flavor, right? For me, Hispanic Heritage Month is understanding who you are. And when you're looking in that mirror, it's okay to hey, you know what? I'm Mexican. Maybe as a kid, I took burritos for lunch, and understanding where your family comes from, I think it's important. And that's why this historical, Heritage Month is important for you to understand where you come from and where you're going to go, and knowing where your parents, start with your parents, ask them. They'll tell you, hey, I remember, crossing the border 4 days in the desert to get here. I heard so many stories of people just wanting that opportunity, and I'm first generation. I was born in Tucson, so I think for me is honoring my family, honoring my parents and what they did. And when they first saw me when I was born, I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what did you say when you first saw me, when they carried me to you? And he said, he looked at me and he looked down at me and says, Ya la hice. He goes, I made it.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, you're 21, 22 years old. That's beautiful. And I have to, honor my parents and my culture, my family and my community. So that way we could, provide, opportunities.
I love that. That's beautiful. I made it. I think sometimes, guards are up because a lot of people don't understand all the different cultures that exist. And the truth is there's so many, and it involves so many different types of incredible food, incredible languages. It's so much deeper than what most of us realize. So I'm encouraging everyone who's watching today to really dive deep into what it means for us as Latina men and women when we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. It isn't just a word. it's an action. And a lot of our families have gone through and done so many different things to be where we are today. And I'm really hoping to see that it's no longer a minority, but it's more of a majority where we can collaborate together and it's not just closed off. And I think that that's something that you have forged over the years where you're forging this community of openness, of advocacy. Like your whole focus is community. It's not just one or the other, but it's together. So before we leave, what is something else that maybe we haven't talked about that maybe no one knows about you that you would want to share?
Well, there's several things. I like to draw. Some people might not know that. I do like to draw. I do draw pencil drawings. I get really in depth with them. They're very detailed, and they take months to finish. And I usually go to like a Starbucks, and I'll sit there before work, sometimes an hour, and drink a nice little Starbucks. And I also skateboard, as you can see my skateboard. But I think another important thing that a lot of people don't know is, I enjoy nature. I love going hiking by myself, especially around Las Vegas and the outskirts of Las Vegas. You'll see me out there walking. I've always done that. I've always traveled to, for example, I used to go to Valley Fire as a kid. I would take my car by myself. My parents would be looking for me. Another thing is I have served. This is an important thing in my life that helped me understand more about people and cultures. In 2001, we went to El Salvador during the earthquakes they had. We went there, I was in school as doctors, and we helped during the first earthquake. And I also got to experience a 7.2 earthquake, the second earthquake, while I was in downtown El Salvador in a Volkswagen bus going to the clinic where we were serving and helping the patients. That was, I tell people, like, there's no on and off switch for Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to experience one gentleman, Carlos, who was my first patient. He was, long story short, he was my first patient. And as soon as I got off the bus to the medical facility, people started running towards me and said, "Hey, there's a guy out here who got hit by a car." I was like, "Okay, I'm here for chiropractic. I'm here to help with the line." I'm thinking, wow, God's tested me this time. But we were able to help this gentleman. And I think the most important part of that story was that because I was there and he would come and see me, the day we had the earthquake, when we went home, his house was gone. And I thank the Lord that we were there to help him. And that's what kind of set the tone for me as a doctor, to be able to always, you never know what kind of impact you have on a person when they walk into your doors and the stuff that goes on outside in society.
You never know. Wow, what an incredible story and journey you have. And like I mentioned earlier, you're going to be seeing a lot more of Dr. Quintana. So in the meantime, how can people follow your journey and find you here locally in Las Vegas?
Because, you can go to Vida Chiropractic, right, Las Vegas, and you can Google that. You can Google Dr. Cesar Quintana very easily. And I'm on Bonanza and Eastern, as you know, right there in the central, the mecca of the Latino communities, right off of 95 and Eastern. We do have a Starbucks, so you can get adjusted, go get a Starbucks and pick up your carne asada Cardenas here on Bonanza and Eastern. My office number is very simple, 702-678-8888. And I was lucky to get that number because it's very easy.
Well, thank you for joining me today. Anyone who plans on stopping in to see you, make sure you take a Starbucks. He is a big coffee fanatic. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you again next week. And as I mentioned, you will be able to watch him on Phoenix TV. We have lots of incredible things in store for you coming from Dr. Cesar Quintana. Gracias.
Bendición. Gracias. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.